What is going on? The name's Chris, and I'm here with my friend Carlos. And this is basically just gonna
So,
be a little series. Yeah, you can. Basically, we're not. we're not very together. I'm gonna have like different friends on every episode or so. I might have the same friend on more than once. Basically, where I play a game in the background, we just talk about some random topic that we have and tell stories about whatever we want. Yeah. So today, one thing I decided that sounds like fun to talk about is to get a good start on like video games, to see what you guys like to see and what we like to play, and see where we can meet in the middle would be what games we liked in the past and what games we're looking forward to in the future, and like just games in general. Um so yeah.
um,
Um one of my favorite games, and honestly one of the first games that I've ever played, was Pokemon. Um
one of the first game I ever played, to be honest, was an MMO game when I was like 6, and it was like a game to actually get me into the controls. But I wouldn't really declare it like a game because it was like a game where you had to learn. And at the time, when I was like 6 and when I was 6, I didn't actually know it was a learning game.
of course you
So
didn't.
I
Like how
didn't.
you didn't
So
know
I thought
people
it
who
was just
weren't American didn't celebrate Thanksgiving.
shut up, shut up. I didn't. I forgot about that shit. But basically, what the whole day of Thanksgiving is about is just basically giving thanks. That's what
Yeah,
basically the whole
and now you're
day
thankful that you
is
know
about,
that people who aren't American don't celebrate it.
pretty much.
Alright, but yeah, so what were you saying about the learning game?
Alright, basically, I played it just to learn. But the actual first game I ever played, like an actual game I ever played, was Twistmode 2. And, well, to me, that game was like weird because, well, it's basically you're in a car and you're having combat. And at the time the graphics and everything were okay. Like
We're
they were
like state of the
exceptional.
art.
Everything, not really state of the art. Like
Where they were like,
they were
their
like
graphics.
blocks and stuff.
Their
Yeah, they're
graphics
just
of the
graphics.
time.
They're graphics of the time. I can't really say anything. So,
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon has come a long way from where it first began. Have you ever played any of the games, or?
I've seen a few of the games.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
no.
I can tell where they've come from.
But, they started out basically 8-bit black and white, or a black and yellow, or black and like basically like monotone game,
Just basic like
basic
8-bit games.
8-bit monotone game, to 3D modeling, full
Yeah, and all that.
64-bit and all that. It's come a long
Yeah,
way since the 90s. I mean, I'm
that's
only
how
14,
Twisted
so I
Metal
can't.
was too.
Yeah, I'm only 14, so I can't really speak for the 90s, but I've played a lot of the games that were in the 90s, and I find them very, very fun, and I see that they have come a long way from the 90s.
Yeah, a lot of games have.
One game that actually brings back a lot of memories for me, you know the Naruto games, like, what's a good one?
Yeah,
Like the Ultimate Storm ones, or whatever they're called.
yeah.
Those are actually really, those bring back a lot of memories to me, because they're like Tekken, but they're like Naruto, and Naruto is like exactly what I dreamed to be.
Naruto. Yeah,
With the whatever the eye is called, it's like the mirror mimic eye. I can't remember the name of it.
oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking
Sharingan,
about.
yeah, Sharingan.
Yeah.
Um, but then the first person shooter that got me into a lot of games was Modern Warfare 2.
The first game of first-person shooters I've ever played was actually COD 3.
Wow.
And like when I started getting older, um, I played COD 2 and I beat COD 2 and I beat COD 3. And back then the the graphics were okay. Like they were better than Twisted Metals, to be honest. Like
Okay,
instead of like the 8-bit, they had like a 32-bit, so
I want
they
you guys
basically upped it up.
I want you guys to
So
go
yeah,
on your internet browser and look up the Lara Croft Tomb Raider games. Look at the very first one and look at the most recent one. We went from blocky, horrible
that
triangle boobs to smooth, flawless graphics, and that's just amazing in like under 20 years.
and yeah, under 20 years. I mean, if you go back to like 90 to the 90s, then you can actually tell like we've actually aged out of the 8-bit to the 64-bit
And then to 3D
and
modeling, and it's
and
just
then 3D modeling and all that.
to be honest, I
So,
still prefer the 8-bit and 64-bit games, especially when they're in platformers, because they're such an easy game to make, so it's like a wide variety for indie games, but also it's just so much more that you can do with
I
them and
mean,
so much more that you can do with the art in my opinion.
like look at Minecraft. Look at Minecraft. It's a
It's a
blocky
it's a 3D modeling 8-bit game. It's
8-bit.
interesting.
Yeah, because you don't obviously see games like that, and its inspiration is weird.
I like how the original name of the game was actually originally going to be Cave Game, but it was changed
No,
considering
it was supposed to be called Minecraft. No,
it went from
Cave's
Cave
Quest.
it went from Cave Game, Cave's
Minecraft.
Quest to Minecraft.
Yeah,
It got changed from Cave Game though because of copyright issues.
yeah. It changed because of copyright, which is annoying in the 2000s and with all the remakes and all that. People having issues, suing, shit like that. That gets annoying.
Yeah, it does. But basically, I don't know. There are three types of games that I like the most. There's sandbox games. Those are like my top games that I like to play. Um,
Like Minecraft. There's like Minecraft. There's
Minecraft,
Gmod.
Gmod.
Um,
um,
what else? There's a lot of games that are sandbox. Like GTA is a sandbox where you just
well,
go
I
around blowing
mean,
shit up.
yeah, I guess it could be considered sandbox, but it's also a free roam RPG, more or less. I think. I
Not
don't know,
really, because in RPG you would have to like level up, and in GTA you don't really have to level up other than the
um,
multiplayer.
but
So
I really, really enjoy the Pokemon games because they're a quest inside of a quest, and it's just very fun. Basically, games that are set up like that, I find very fun. The Zelda games, those are another one of my personal favorites. Um,
Zelda I never played. I had my dad said he played it, and then he showed me gameplay of it, and I was like, ooh, like that's interesting, because I had never at the time I had never seen it. Damn it, I died.
what game are you playing right now? Actually, as we
I'm
speak.
pl I'm playing Destiny still. I'm really thinking about jumping on. I'm really saying fuck this like 10,000 point XP quest, because what it is, I have to literally get 10,000 points of XP without dying.
Oh,
When I first got that quest, or the bounty, it took me like 3 days just to pass it
all right. So now
when
back
I
to.
first got it.
Oh wow. Back to the main point of what I wanted to do with the series is basically tell a story about basically the topic in the thing in the video. Um, what would your most memorable moment from video games that you've had be?
I don't know. It's just like playing with my friends and my dad, most likely, because well, when I was young at the time when I started playing, I had no real like skill, like no real accuracy, no nothing. So then my dad he would show me certain like things of how to like fight
Yeah.
and like keep myself strong.
One of my most memorable things was so my brother he does YouTube. He won't tell me what his stuff is. But back when I was like 7, um, we would he had basically Modern Warfare 2.
Huh.
Um, it's closer to when I was 7 at least. And it was like right around when it got released and stuff, Black Ops and stuff. And I would play Noctur and Toten uh on World at War, and I was hooked from the very first game time I picked up the controller. I just remember sitting there and trying, and him getting kind of annoyed at me for sitting in his room taking up all of his time, but he actually sat there and taught me how to play.
Cause at first when I played, I honestly knew nothing at all. Like I was just flat out sad. I couldn't kill anything. I couldn't hit anything, and I really could not have aimed. Like my aim now is like God to what it was when I was a kid.
Okay, but yeah, basically, I would play zombies as I was just saying, and I would I wouldn't even be able to pass round five trying as hard as I could, even if I had the thunder gun or something. But now
For me,
I get
like
to round 30 and 40 left and right, and it's not impressive anymore.
yeah, cause when you look at like the little funny achievements that you would get back then when you were a kid, it's like it's amazing compared to when you were compared to like now where you're getting through all these rounds, all these memories just going by, stuff you
Yeah.
haven't really thought about in years,
Like
and they just fly
before
by.
before on multiplayer, it would be a huge achievement for me to get 10 kills and 50 deaths in a game. But now it's basically I'm trying to get 50 plus gameplays with under 10 deaths. It's huge how in less than 5 years I can change my standards like that.
Yeah, cause like when I would first play multiplayer, I swear I could not understand anything. Like I didn't understand that there are certain things that were different. Like everything would have a different variety.
One thing I am very
Like on
surprised about though, when I first picked up that controller, I knew how to look around. I didn't know the buttons to shoot and stuff, but like I figured out how to move around and look. I wasn't like the one looking at the sky all the time. I would walk around and just explore. I wouldn't
that was
shoot
me.
because I wouldn't shoot, crouch or jump or something because I didn't know how to. But I would walk around with the joysticks and it was fun.
Yeah, because the first game I had ever played multiplayer on, like I said, was COD 3. And to me, COD 3, I had never really learned the controls that well. So I was always that one kid that would die a lot and just go like straight up failure.
Back in Modern Warfare 2, my friends would be dropping nuclears left and right, and I would be sitting there like, I don't know
How the
what to
hell did you
do
get
because you
that?
guys are like really good. It would be an accomplishment for me to get a Predator missile. And the thing is, um I still can't get a nuclear today. Believe me when I say this, I still suck at Call of Duty. There's a lot of room for improvement. But it's just amazing. And then Tekken, I used to play that all the time with my sister at an arcade, and that's also a thing that got me hooked into fighting games.
One of the fighting games I had played, I think I remember my first fighting game was Mortal Kombat, and
Mine was
well,
Tekken.
I was pretty much hooked. Pretty much, I was hooked on Mortal Kombat because one, the it wasn't like poorly made where they had to remake it, like what Capcom did.
Yeah, Mortal
And
Kombat was strong from the start, from what I can remember.
yeah, because what I remember from when I was a kid, Mortal Kombat like had no flaws. Like at first, there was like a 3D, like 8-bit game, fighting game, and then it went from like that to 3D modeling, and
Yeah,
like now, where you can actually see everything break, whereas before you would just guess what you would break.
yeah, and then there's like Street Fighter, where it's an amazing game. I love it, but I've lost interest in it because it hasn't really changed much.
Yeah, they're trying to make new characters and everything, but they don't come up with a new like storyline. Like
Yeah.
with Mortal Kombat, they come up with a new storyline.
Well, we're rearing the end of the video here. So, yeah. So, any last thoughts on your side?
Well, all I know is like just I just want to appreciate those times from where I used to play as a kid. That's all I want to appreciate.
Yeah.
Like from
And
back in like 2001 and stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and a little tip to y'all younger gamers out there: if you're trying to play and it just gets frustrating on you, take a break, come back, and don't stop trying just because it's too hard. I guarantee you that eventually you'll catch the hang of it and you'll get there one day. You'll get up to the point where you're dropping 50 plus gameplays and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, the name's
So
Chris, and this will be the end of our first video.